I was in Boston, I sparred Monday, grappled 5 rounds Monday. Sparred Tuesday, grappled 5 rounds Tuesday. Sparred Wednesday, grappled 5 rounds Wednesday. Like, I was doing 10 rounds a day for 3 days leading up to the fight just to make weight. And it's hard for me now to let go of that because it works. I don't have to do it, but it works. I feel good when I get a couple days rest and I feel prepared. I don't let time pass to where my sharpness and everything doesn't start to falter. I feel like on Saturday I just go into another hard sparring day because I've been doing it all week.
Typical sparring sessions, or you tone it down a little bit?
You tone it down a little bit, but I'm not blasting guys like we do. I mean, you saw Habib before he fought Conor. He had a black eye as big as but after the fight, he was clean, right? It was the craziest thing. But in the gym, we beat each other up like you guys. I would say like you couldn't believe it. The reality is you do, because we used to always pull out of the fights. At least we make it to fights now. That's one thing, right? What are you guys doing, right? Before we used to get so much shit for not making it to fights. We make it to fights now, so start to say that we make it to fights now, so that we can shed this idea that AKA guys are constantly pulling out. As Luke Rock will pull out of this fight. Shit! God dang it!
That commitment that you show to fighting is also, I mean, you also show it in life. What you take it done and take it on the wrestling team, and what you do as a Fox analyst, where does that come from? What if you could point to like things that have happened in your life, why are you that type of person?
You know, Lance, I grew up in a place where there wasn't much, but I watched my dad. Like, seriously, I'm doing this at Gilroy High School. I'm doing it 3 programs named after me for wrestling. I'm doing it at Fox Sports. If you can't get motivated to work at Fox Sports, it's a problem. My dad did it for the city of Lafayette. My dad did it for a pizza parlor named Melisse's in Lafayette, right? He would get up at 8 a.m. in the morning, man, and go and work and cut the baseball fields, clean the bathrooms at the parks. You know what's that? It's called lime or something that goes on the baseball fields. He was the guy that walked out there and lined those fields for kids to go play baseball. Then he would get off at 5 o'clock, drive home, take a bath and eat, and then he would drive to the pizza parlor where he washed dishes from 6:30 till 11. And he did this constantly. He always did it. And when he wasn't at the pizza parlor, he would cut the graveyard, the cemetery, push the graveyard, or he would work on cars. He just always hustled. And I'm like, man, if I can watch this man over the entirety of my life spend his days and days and days just working, why can't I do the same thing for my children? He was making very little money, and because of that, he was doing more to try to provide for us. And that's what I want to do for my children. It's just on a different level, and more people are seeing it. But my dad's not abnormal. So many men work like this. And honestly, so many black men work like this. You know, black men have a reputation of not being there for their families. My father killed himself for us, to give us these opportunities. And there are a lot of men like me and like my dad that are out there doing that. So if he can do that, if he can break his back under people's cars, if he can cut cemeteries, if he can wash dishes, and he can work for the city of Lafayette, I can go and sit at a desk in a fancy suit and talk about fights. I can go give back to the community and teach wrestling as someone did for me. So it's just, my dad was inspiring, man. To watch him, and I knew he was tired. I knew he didn't feel like doing that, but he always did it and still made time to go watch me play football, to go watch me wrestle and do all of that things. Just having a strong role model was very important to me.
There's this media narrative right now that you had the perfect retirement plan laid out. Lesnar, maybe Jones walk away, and you might be risking it in one night. How true is that thought?
It's very risky. I mean, this is a guy that can finish a fight in no time. But you got to understand the mentality of a fighter, right? Whereas some people see Derek Lewis knocking out all these guys and it scares them. For me, it excites me, you know, because it gives me the ability to go out there and really put it into anything that he's built. I want to take, I like taking guys, right? And after I get done with them, they're never the same. That's what I like. I like showing them that there's a place that they can go to in a fight that's so uncomfortable that they never want to truly push themselves anymore. And that's what I like. I like breaking dudes. And not only just on the night, I like to try to break them going forward.
And how real is that conversation in your head where you are weighing out your options and saying, what happens if I do lose both belts in the next couple months and get injured or something and lose that chance at Brock? What's that like in your head when you're negotiating that?
You know, that's the difference between me and a lot of other guys. If I was to get beat by Derek Lewis and then I had nothing else, I'd still be okay. The reality is, what I've done is done. You can't take it away. Just because I lose doesn't change it. People don't look at BJ Penn any different because he loses fights. People don't look at Randy Couture. All the greatest champions in UFC history have started to lose fights. Their value remains the same. And I have done what I have done. It will not change. On July 7th, I cemented my place in MMA history. So if I lose, I lose. Hey, I'm going to make more money in TV than I've ever made fighting.
All right, you said that you can't change it. You can improve on it. You're right now at the table of the GOATs, but to be the GOAT, people say, well, he's still got to fight Jones. Is that still a real thing?
Well, I mean, the reality is it's a guy that beat me, right? So to be the greatest fighter of all time, I would probably have to beat him. But then they can always point to the fact that, well, he won a fight, but he still lost 2. So Jones is still better. There's always an argument to the alternative.
But do you care? Are you trying to plan a way to become the actual GOAT? No argument?
I mean, I feel like there are some challenges in that thought. Because I ask you this right now: who's the greatest boxer of all time?
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Sugar Ray Robinson. Who's the greatest boxer of all time? Muhammad Ali. Who's the greatest boxer of all time?
I'm with him, Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray. You?
Muhammad Ali.
How do you come to a conclusion? What about you? Mayweather. I mean, Mayweather is clearly the answer, right? We're the same. I think it's Mayweather. I think it's Floyd Mayweather. But how do you come to a universal conclusion on that argument? Just like who's the greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever? You never come to the true answer. And I can't chase that. It's like chasing a dog chasing its tail. I'll just be spinning in a circle. And I'm not a guy that likes to spin in a circle.